For their first attempt, Cougars made a stellar mic with all of the features packed right into the microphone. Good afternoon and welcome to Turbo Tortoise Tech. If you're new here, I'm Reese of the 4-piece variety Orky Triple XL. And Cougar sent me this very, very nice Screamer-X microphone complete with a really nice bit of packaging and a really nice bit of kit that it is, because all of the main features are plug and play. You don't need any software with this microphone. Everything you need is right here on the mic, including an included pop filter. It's got a 3/8" and 5/8" adapter as well, so it can be put onto a boom arm, and an RGB capable stand. Yes, because we know that's incredibly important to you as a gamer. So let's start off right there from the bottom. So the stand itself, very, very nice finish in Cougar put onto the top over there, so you know it's a Cougar. If the pop filter didn't tell you, then that certainly would, wouldn't it? RGB stand at the bottom, and the button on the back will cycle between different colors, so you can match it with your setup. And yeah, it's got a pass-through as well. So there's USB 3 pass-through little hub on the stand. So a very nice included stand for this. It's got rubberizing on the inside of this as well, and rubberizing on the base, just to kill all of that noise factor. So if you do have vibration from your PC on your desk, which I actually have a problem with, if I use my other mic, which doesn't have as much dampening, it's pretty noticeable. It sounds like you might have like a bit of a cement mixer attached to it. Whereas this sucker, the only noise that you'll ever kind of get from it is actually, unfortunately, from the mute button. It's the only change that I would make on this mic, on its physical setup, is the fact that this isn't capacitive. As I switch it, you'll hear, unfortunately, it isn't capacitive. It does have a nice light running through it, so you can see if you are muted or not on the microphone. Once again, just a really good included holistic package. Then we have the bottom of the microphone itself. You'll notice the USB Type-C, which does have its own angled cable specifically set up for that, and then the 3.5mm jack. You'll notice a switch with NR there. That's for its noise reduction mode, which I'll show you a little bit later in the test. It does have its own light on that as well, so you can see when it's lit up orange that it is on, and then when you switch it off, it shows you it's off. So all the indicator LEDs and stuff on this are really nicely done. The gain at the top over here, I found about half was the sweet spot. Underneath that, you've got your pickup pattern selector, which has cardioid, shotgun, bidirectional and omnidirectional. So it's got 4 pickup patterns all built into one microphone, which I love, because inside of here are 3 16mm drivers so that it can do that sort of functionality. And it really does lend itself to podcast type setups or conferencing type setups. Underneath that, you've got your gain then for your headset. It is a 32 ohm output on that, so you're not going to be able to power like really high end headphones, but if you just want to slap in a set of in-ears into that for convenience, or like a standard headset, then it's going to cope really well with that, isn't it? I don't know why I was saying cape. Puppet capes, how's it? Built-in pop filter on the front as well, really nicely finished with the Cougar setup. It is removable, very easy to take on and off. So if you need to travel, don't worry about that. It's not going to be cumbersome. Everything is just as it should be. And at the price point, it makes like a lot of sense, honestly, especially for people that have like a bit more dynamic environments that need to be able to use it in different ways, like with an omnidirectional or with that bidirectional where you can have it in front and back as well. And to demonstrate that, we're going to jump over to the PC. Alrighty, so I've got the Screamer-X right here in front of me on the desk. As you can see, as I'm moving it around, you might be hearing it picking up from different places. And this is completely raw. There's absolutely no modifications on it. Even its own noise reduction is switched off, and it's in the cardioid pattern. Now, if I put it in the shotgun pattern, you'll notice that it gets a lot tighter. If I move over to the left or if I move over to the right, you'll notice that the audio is almost like cut out from that. Then we have the bidirectional. So if I have it over here, then if I click behind the mic, You'll hear that coming out of the back of the microphone as well. Then we have the omnidirectional setup where it's going to pick up from absolutely all around over here. And the intent with this is really to have it pick up like instruments and other musical stuff in the environment. Now, I don't think the quality is quite good enough to record that accurately or make it sound like amazing, but it could be pretty good for like conferencing or podcasts to have it in this mode. But overall, I've got to say, I really like the shotgun mode, especially for people that are doing streaming and casting. Then this is going to be the mode that I suggest you use. Now, you might have also noticed a little bit of background noise. If I keep quiet for a second, you can hear noises around and outside, but it actually has a very good noise reduction setting. So if I switch the noise reduction on, you'll notice that a lot of that extra wave and stuff is cut down. It does affect the vocal wave ever so slightly. So I don't think if you're going to record like singing or something with it, that's going to work out exceptionally well for you. But if you're doing shoutcasting or you've got a noisy environment, then this is going to be an absolutely fantastic thing to have. And the fact that it's hardware level and doesn't require any software means that you can plug and play it anyway. I've also tested all of this with the LED based stand connected. So that if there is any noise factor from that, then it's going to be significantly, noticeable on the recording, but there isn't really anything that I'm noticing from having that on. All around, at the price point, I've got to say the amount of functions that come on this microphone, and the proof is in the pudding in the test, that it does sound pretty damn good. Now, just give me 1 second because I'm going to put a couple of modifications and filters onto it to just make it sound that much better. Now, with the gate, a compressor, and a bit of more noise suppression coming from VSTs, we have a much better environment for the mic. There should be almost no noise coming through from the rest of my PC, and I'm not even using NVIDIA Broadcast with this. I found that the later updates of NVIDIA Broadcast, the latest ones, have been a little bit iffy, if I'm being honest. So I would do everything through your OBS where possible and rather just use the VSTs and stuff that come with it. But with the shotgun mode and with this sort of setup, I would be very comfortable doing longer term videos. I'm very sorry that I don't have a longer term sort of setup with more variants so that you can get a better, overall feeling of the microphone. Unfortunately, my internet service provider has completely stuffed my internet for more than a week now. Hopefully, by tomorrow, I'll have some internet and normal service will resume. But until then, back to the studio. So as you can see, pretty solid quality from a pretty solidly priced product with a really solid feature set. This, at the price point, is one of the most feature-rich microphones I've ever seen. I would like to see them slightly improve the mics into the next generation and also just to change that mute to a capacitive mute. But for their first attempt, it's kind of sick how close they got to perfection. This is honestly one of the best out-of-box packages I've seen. You don't need to get a boom arm if you're happy with it sitting in front of you. And if you do have a boom arm, it's completely adaptable with a 5/8 and the 3/8 inch adapter that sits in the bottom of the microphone over there. So it's very, very flexible. And I especially like it maybe for people that are just looking for something good for their conferencing setup. So if you've got a business and you need multiple people to speak to you, then you can use the omnidirectional and everybody's going to be pretty audible. It does pick up a little bit of echo and stuff in that mode, but you've got the noise reduction over there to help you with that. And the fact that it's got a hardware level built in, if you don't have NVIDIA Broadcast, if you've got an AMD graphics card and you're streaming with that PC, then this is going to be really attractive to you because you don't need to have that. You can use the VSTs and stuff in OBS and you're going to get a really good output from it. All in all, it's a solid 9 out of 10 from me. It's going to come highly suggested. If it goes on special at like 2,000 Rand, I don't think there's anything that I know of that can compete with this sort of feature set. I think there are mics with maybe a little bit better quality, especially if you want to record yourself singing or something to that effect than this. But for a shoutcasting microphone, it's really, really up there. Anywho, that is all I have for you on the Screamer-X. If you have enjoyed this review, please do hit us up with a like and subscribe. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. And until next time, stay safe, keep well, and I will see you on the flip side.
Ignored, I don't exist. I'm sick. It's alright, I'm fine. I'm just